So you got to do things different. And look, don't be afraid of doing things differently. Sometimes fear holds us back. Don't let that fear keep you from doing what you got to do. You may have to make some major adjustments and some major changes, but you got to keep going despite fear. But push yourself to dream big financially and put on your big boy pants and get it done. Now, the fourth thing that I would probably tell my 30-year-old or 40-year-old self is that stuff ain't that important when it's all said and done, right? You really want to put your money to work in the background. Who cares about stuff? In the end, stuff don't even matter as much as you may think it matters. It really don't matter that much, right? What matters more is your money going to work for you and working real hard for you back there where nobody can see it. So I would tell myself, hey, don't spend time trying to look rich and look like you got something, but focus that energy on getting wealthy in the back, right? Where people can't see it and it's none of their business to see it. They shouldn't be seeing it. Now, the fifth thing I would tell myself is invest more money if you can. Stretch yourself to put more money away towards your investments as early as possible. If you're 35, 36, 37, 32, 40, put away as much money as possible. The sooner you start doing that, the more compound interest can really go to work on your behalf. Look, you're going to pay for it anyway. You're going to pay when you're 60 or you're going to pay when you're 30. I suggest you pay it when you're 30, when you have the energy, you have the good health, and you're motivated when you're 30 years old. Pay for it at 30 so you can chill when you're 60. Because you don't want to pay for it when you're 60 and regret the fact that you didn't pay for it when you was 30. Now, that takes me to the sixth thing. The sixth thing I'd probably tell myself is start now, don't wait. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to get. Look, it's hard to just turn it on when you're 50, 55 years old. And if you're 50, 55 years old, let me know in the comments if what I'm saying is right. When you get to be 50, 55, 60, 65, you don't want to have to turn it on all of a sudden and start saving a whole bunch of money. You sort of wish you had done that when you was 30 years old or 35 years old. You ever see like a game that's a 4-quarter game, and towards the end of the game, you see the team working real hard and really hustling real hard, and you're asking yourself, well, why wasn't you doing all that hard work in the first quarter and in the second quarter? Why you wait till 6 minutes to go at the end of the game to turn it on, right? Apply that to your life. In the first part of your life, get busy, go with it, go hard, right? So turn it on as soon as you can, and don't wait till the end of the fourth quarter to start getting really serious about this thing. Now, the seventh thing I would tell my 30 or 40-year-old self is to exercise, walk, keep your body in shape, keep your body in good physical condition so that you're here for the long haul, right? What good is it to have a whole lot of money if you're not in good shape and good physical condition to enjoy it? Now, the eighth thing I would say to myself, my 30 or 40-year-old self, is forgive your parents as soon as you can. Your parents probably did the absolute best they could do with what they had. Maybe they didn't have a whole bunch of money. Maybe they didn't send you to this type of school or that school, or buy you this or buy you that. Look, the sooner you can forgive your parents and move on, the better. Don't live back there in the past. Look, all parents, all people, all humans, we all make mistakes. We make mistakes in life and with money. Don't beat yourself up. And make sure you forgive you and you forgive your parents for whatever took place in the past. And you need to live life moving forward, looking forward. The key is to recognize those mistakes, forgive, and move on. Keep going forward. Now, the ninth thing I would tell my 30 or 40-year-old self is simply, what you focus on is going to grow, right? Whatever you put intention to and energy behind is what's going to flourish. It's going to flourish in the direction where you put that energy at. If you come to a situation with your personal finances and you're putting a lot of energy into being negative, that's going to grow and it's going to fester and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you take all that energy and you put it towards something positive regarding your personal finances, then that's what's going to grow in that direction. See, because abundance and lack are all around us. They're everywhere. Everywhere we look, we have people that are abundant and people that are lacking and don't have as much, right? The key is this: we get what we choose to focus on. So what I would tell my 30 or 40-year-old self is, Focus on the abundance. Don't focus on the lack. Focus on what you can do, what you can have, and put that energy there so that that is what begins to take place and manifest in your life, whether it's your life or your personal finances, right? Spend more energy and focus and time and money on fixing problems and growing than you spend on trying to figure out who's at fault, who's to blame, how terrible those mistakes are. Don't put your energy there. Put your energy on the positive. Put your focus on what's next, what's coming, what's possible, and keep that positive energy and that positive mindset. And you'll have abundance because you're focusing on abundance. The 10th thing I would say to myself is simply this, guys. Today, you are as young as you will ever be. If you're 30 years old and you're watching this, if you're my 40-year-old former self, hey, you only get older from here. Time doesn't wait on you. And the older you get, the faster time passes us by. So you don't get moments back. You don't get days back. Oftentimes, you don't get opportunities back. You got to seize the opportunities that are put before you with both money and time, right? Now, the 11th thing that I would tell my 30 or 40-year-old self is that your life and your money changes when you change. Your life and your money gets better when you get better. Your money and your life will improve when you improve. You want things to change with your money? You want to have more money? You want to have more investments? You got to make some changes, because it ain't changing till you change. And when you change, it changes. Now, the 12th thing I would tell myself, my 30, 40-year-old self, is make sure that you help other people and you give to other people. Not just to get something out of it, but you give and you help other people because it's just the right thing to do. See, I would tell my former self, listen, the price you pay for all the beauty of living and life itself is to give and help other people, because you're not in the world by yourself. And giving and helping others is a small price to pay for the beauty of life that we all enjoy. Now, the next thing I tell my 30 or 40-year-old self is, please make a financial plan for your money and for your life with money. And why? Because I want you to have some direction. See, I want the plan that you come up with, the strategy, the plan, the goals. I want those things to help guide your financial decisions. If you have no direction in life and with money, your life and money could end up anywhere. And all the decisions you make regarding money should be based on whether or not it fits in your strategy and your plan that you've come up with for your money. So develop that plan is what I tell my 30 or 40-year-old self. Now, the final thing that I would probably tell my 30 or 40-year-old self about life, about money, is that you can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you react and how you think. Because how you think determines how you behave, and how you behave determines the results and the outcome, right? So your thinking really has a direct connection to your outcomes. So how you think matters. That's why you got to get your thinking right. If you get your thinking right, then you'll start to behave accordingly. And ultimately, the outcomes will be based on your thoughts. So get the right thinking, get the right outcomes. Look, guys, I'm 54 years old, and I've seen a lot of 30 and 40-year-old people make some of the biggest financial mistakes of their life. Look, we can all blow off our 20s and be okay. But we can't blow off our 30s and 40s and have a good rest of our life in our 60s and 70s. So there you have it. That's what I would tell my 30 or 40-year-old self about money if I could go back and give some advice. As always, guys, the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.
There is rising in the straight line.
is under attack.
I run you off. A barrel alone. Out of my way!
I'm here all.
Who doesn't know?
Hey folks, Toby Mathis here, and today we're going to go over why looking poor could be the best decision you ever make. So hang on tight, because I'm sure there'll be some comments coming from this one. All right, there are absolutely psychological reasons and logical reasons why you don't want to flaunt wealth. Now, I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to give you my 5 top reasons of why looking poor could actually be your best decision. Now, I'm not talking about looking poor in the sense of looking homeless. I'm just saying don't look overtly wealthy, and there are plenty of reasons why. Number 1 is avoiding lawyers and snoops. A number of people who have won the lottery, for example, have said it's the worst thing that ever happened to them. And one of the main reasons is because of everybody's coming around digging into all their stuff, the lawyers involved, and the acrimony that it caused. Now, there's another reason is that if everybody knows you have money, you're literally putting a target on your back for someone who decides they want to help themselves to your wealth. I think it was Mark Cuban that once said one of the worst parts about getting wealthy was all the lawyers they had to deal with, because there's a constant barrage of people trying to take things away from you. So one of the best ways to look poor is to not have your name in that public record. It's something we teach all the time at our tax and asset protection workshops, but it's making it so people can't see what you have via a public record, which means they can't go right type up a search and see all your rental properties, all the businesses you own, all of the things that you have going on. You can get your name out of the public record. So looking poor may be as simple as not being overtly wealthy in a public record. You can still have it, but we want to make it to where lawyers and snoops don't come looking for it. Number 2.
감기 엔? 모두의 감기약 판콜.
Believe it or not, it saves you money. Now, there's been plenty of studies on the psychological impact of living in certain neighborhoods. And this is gonna, like some of you guys, this might tweak you the wrong way. If it bothers you, let me know in the comments about why it bothers you. But this is the truth. People that try to keep up with their neighbors are less happy than people that don't. And so if you don't try to keep up with whatever your social economic class is, like let's say that you are starting to make some money and you avoid the temptation of going into a lavish neighborhood, or if you do, you don't try to keep up. Like, hey, I see they have a Rolls. My neighbor's got a Rolls and he's got a Lamborghini. That's a lot of pressure. And even if you buy those items, you're not going to be happy because you're trying to keep up with somebody else. In other words, we're looking outwardly instead of inwardly. It sounds weird, but there's study after study has showed it. So by living a little more modest and not trying to look rich, you'll actually be happier. Studies prove it. Number 3, gold diggers. And I'm not talking about
Your top tower is under attack.
your spouse. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about other people that all of a sudden decide they're going to be in your life because they perceive that you have wealth. And I can use me as an example. Sold a business. It was publicly, there was a press release and everything else. All of a sudden, every financial planner, it seemed, on the planet decided that they were my best friend and really had some good ideas about what I could do with my money. You want to avoid that if at all possible, by keeping a low profile. Now, some things, there's nothing I could do. Sold a company, right? But what I can do is make sure that I have a low profile in the public record so that I'm not attracting people who are going to start trying to ask and help themselves my money. It always surprises me that when I see somebody who says I'm an angel investor and they're putting their name out there, and I talk to them and they have deal fatigue. They're always getting hit up. And I'm like, that's because you said you're an angel investor and put yourself out there in a public record. You basically waved a flag saying, I've got money and I'm willing to share it with anybody who has a great idea. Of course you're going to get pitched. You want to put up some sort of moat around yourself with either other professionals or by getting your name out of that public record so that you don't get hit with those types of things. Number 4, and this is a weird one, but some people are really sensitive to it. You want to avoid stereotypes. And this happens. I heard this over and over again. Somebody who makes a lot of money and they say, I didn't change, all my friends changed. And they started treating me differently. And a lot of times there's not anything you can do about it. You can be aware of it and you could say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to flaunt it in front of people. I'm not going to sit there and cause them to feel uncomfortable because I have something they may not have. Now, some of you guys who are wealthy, you already know what I'm talking about. If you had friends from prior to you making it big or whatever, and you're around them, you have to be a little bit sensitive to the idea that what you're able to do, hey, you know, for example, you go out to dinner, you may see a bottle of wine, $400 bottle of wine, and think nothing of it. But somebody else, it may be causing them to feel a little bit less than or some stress. And also, there are people that will immediately look at you and say, oh, you're one of those people. And so I just say, dress down a little bit, maybe be sensitive to it. Just be aware that if you are flaunting your wealth, there are people who will judge you as a result. And depending on your social circles, that may not be a good thing, especially for you and your family. You may want to tone it down just a little bit. And again, I see people, they get the money, the first thing they want to do is go out and get the really nice car, get the big house, get the big boat. They want to start, you know, hey, let's go on a ton of vacations and everything, and you're sharing it with everybody. But there might be people that are looking at you a little differently as a result. Just be aware of it. Now, number 5, this is one of my favorites. Not looking rich because you have enough. You're satisfied. I think it was Kurt Vonnegut was talking about one of his friends who was a publisher, and they were in the Hamptons, they were around all these billionaires. And he says, doesn't it bother you that one of these billionaires makes more in a day than you ever received publishing? In this particular case, was a very successful novel. And he said, no, because I have something they'll never have. And he said, what's that? He goes, enough. And we all know people that are still out there chasing. Call them rich, miserable bastards. They've never figured out the other half of the equation, which is the personal satisfaction. And there is something to be said for, hey, I am deliberately driving the pickup truck and wearing my jeans, right? I'm satisfied with the way my life is. I like my family. I like the people I work with. And yes, I could do the private jet. Yes, I could do the Rolls Royce. Yes, I could do some more highfalutin stuff, and I could go out and pop bottles and go to the club and spend $10,000 a night and do all that crazy stuff, right? But it wouldn't make you happy. And just realizing, hey, that doesn't bring me any happiness is part of the equation that causes the satisfaction. Is something that I've seen over and over again because I work with investors, and I can tell you all 5 of these are very legitimate and from my personal experience. Right? I see these folks that build up wealth, and you see somebody who's building it over time, and then they reach it to where they're independent, they leave their job, they don't need to work anymore, and sometimes they start going over to the other side and they get very conscious of it. And I can tell you, each one of these, I've had stories that people have told me that they shared with me about how other people perceive them, caused them a certain amount of pain, because they said, that's not me. But I'm like, well, you know, you can't control what other people think, but you can control what you do, and then again, how you react with it. You could be a little sensitive to it, because a lot of times, the last thing we're thinking about is, hey, got a bunch of money, I'm going to start to spend it. I get it. That's usually the tendency of somebody who, especially, you have a big event. You know, if you win the lottery, unfortunately, statistically, you're not going to keep much of that money. But if you build your wealth, you probably will. It's the next generation that we have to worry about, right? And so you want to teach them how to live appropriately so that they don't go out and blow it up. And usually, when somebody makes the mistake, it's because they get the big windfall, and then they start chasing, and they think, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And if you just tap the brakes, slow the roll on those things, you'll be much better off. And so that's your why maybe not looking wealthy, but while looking poor could be one of the best decisions you ever make, is when you consciously say, I'm not going to play that game, I'm not going to enter that race, I'm just going to be me and be happy and be comfortable and do the things that bring me and my family joy. You're going to be much better off. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Share this with anybody you think needs to be shared with. There are some folks out there you are, ah! And then if you can, like and subscribe.
More to show.
Your top tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack. Your bottom tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
Over there. Just a bit tipsy. I'm a bit in my cups at the moment. I trundle on. Who doesn't know? Put up a fight! Once for luck! Step aside! Oh, boy. Attack! Oh, for my top.
Your top tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed. Your top tower is under attack.
One drop. Put up a fight! Time is money. Go down! In a straight line. Ah! Right! You still there? One for luck. Step aside. On my way.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Right! Joy. The spirits move. Barreling in! Over there. Here! On my way! Most assured. Onward.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Just a bit. Your for Yoi and Oyo.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Put up a fight! That goes down slow! They barrel along.
The enemy's bottom tower has fallen.
Spirits move. Drink it in. I'm a beat in my the darkness.
Your top tower is under attack.
I rundle off. Attack! barrel alone. One for luck. You still there? They're not ready. Step aside. Oh, shit. What's this? What? Over there? Out my way! Most assuredly. Just a bit. Yes. One for luck. For Yoi and Oyo. Randall off. The spirits move me. Let's celebrate with a good of a fight. Still there? Attack! Great. They'll never touch the stuff again. I'm beaten. There's one down. Onward. He's not tired. Oh, now it's on! Onward!
path is permitted. Now, as a new user, when you get this drone and fire it up for the very first time, the app is going to walk you through and explain exactly what every single item does. Now, I've already ran this once, so I don't have that on my screen, but in the video,
This thing here is the DJI Mavic 3 Pro, a $3,500 top-of-the-line normal style of drone. This here, on the other hand, is the iFly Nazgul Evoke, which happens to be a $900 pre-built FPV drone. And well, today I'm putting them in a head-to-head battle to find out which one's actually better. Now, I get it. You might be thinking, bruh, this is like comparing apples to oranges. These are two completely different types of drones in two wildly different price brackets with two insanely different sets of features. And well, yeah, you aren't actually entirely wrong, but I can help iron out that pricing issue that you might have. If we take the
Your middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. The enemy's middle tower has fallen.
DJI Mavic 3 Pro here, and add the controller that's needed to it, you're looking at about $3,800. Grab the Nazgul Evoke, however, add on the TX16S controller, a few batteries, the GoPro, and the goggles, and suddenly we have a setup that is about $3,400, which is only $400.
The spirits move. Just a bit tipsy. What's this?
enemy's top tower has fallen.
A barrel alone.
The enemy's top tower has fallen.
Rival split! This calls for a drinking song! A barrel of blood! Absolutely. For the show. Drink it in. Step aside. In my dreams.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Now I'm feeling it.
I'll dig that.
Spirits move. A barrel alone. Attack! Yes. Regeneration. Onward. In a straight line. For your evening. Out of my way! I'm beating my cups. I trundle off. One for luck. There's no time. Hey-ya! Cup running over.